In addition to that, I wanted to remind the Minister of Internal Affairs, I've written several letters about the Maragolis. The Maragolis who are born in Uganda have never been registered. I wrote to your predecessor, unfortunately he died. I wrote again to your minister. They keep writing to me to say, where do we belong? Maragolis in Masindi. Yes, they've been there for centuries. They are neither Ugandans nor Kenyans. So they cannot even benefit from this process. I can send you other copies. They've been writing almost every month because they have no status in this country. And they were born here and they are like 4 generations are in this country. Nsamba, Sechikubo, I'm going this side. Or remember, you cannot all speak at the same time. Please take your seats. Even in cabinet, you don't all speak at the same time.
Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker and honourable colleagues. I bring you greetings from Kassanda North. Majority of our people, Right Honourable Speaker, are members of the NRM party. During my consultations, majority told me they have no problem with amending the Constitution. But they told me I should never ever support the amendment of Article 102B. Madam Speaker, our consultations were held at parish level, and I held meetings in 21 parishes. None of the parishes supported the amendment. I went ahead to consult sub-county leadership and the NRM structures, where I even invited the woman MP from Mubende to come and do the popularization of the amendment. But people still said no to amendment of 102B. I hereby report, Right Honourable Speaker, that the people of Kassanda North are against amending Article 102B. I want to thank the members of the NRM who have come to stand up and come here and represent the views of the people that they represent. The sacrifices you're making are nearing those of Ugandans who chose to sacrifice 5 years in the bush for the sake of Uganda. How I wish those sacrifices were rewarded with sustainable peace and good governance. Madam Speaker, I don't subscribe to the view that my party, NRM, is under-resourced in terms of leaders. There is a lie that there is no other person within the party that can take the country forward. I still believe that within the party, the NRM, over the years we have nurtured leaders who can perform even better than the person we are trying to amend this constitution for. Madam Speaker, Honorable Majeza and the team did not only rob this country of a debate on transition, but curtailed the same within the NRM party. They have misinformed the country that the only viable transition is from President Museveni to President Museveni.
Honorable Sechikubo. Half.
Members of NRM, especially you, whose constituents have said don't amend, do not succumb to fear. I'm calling upon you. In any case, as the Bush War veterans made sacrifices, we must also make sacrifices today when this country needs us. This decision, members, is not about how much you fear the regime, nor about safeguarding your constituency. It is rather about how much you love this country. It is rather about thinking about the future of this country. Madam Speaker, as I conclude, religious leaders have spoken against this amendment. Cultural leaders have spoken, especially the Kabaka of Uganda, where I come from. Senior citizens have aired their views. Members of Parliament, we must listen to the voices and keep dismissing like we must keep understand, otherwise we will regret this situation. Madam Speaker, I have proved that whenever we are doing, Madam Speaker, this process has proved to us.
The House is called to order. Honourable members, we are dealing with a proposal for amendment of the Constitution, and under Article 262 of the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda, a bill for an act of Parliament to amend any provision of the Constitution other than those referred to in Articles 260 and 261 of the Constitution shall not be taken as passed unless it is supported at the second and third reading by the votes of not less than 2/3 of all members of Parliament. Currently, total number of members of Parliament is 452 because we are short of the person who will come in Ruhama. The number of members of Parliament with voting rights is 451. The 17 ex-officio members of Parliament have no voting rights. Therefore, the number of Parliaments with voting rights is 434. In accordance with Article 262, if the motion for the second reading is to be carried, it has to be supported by the votes of not less than 2/3 of all members of Parliament. This means 2/3 of 434 members is 289.3. But because we don't have a 0.3, we're rounding up to 289. Article 89(1) provides that except as otherwise prescribed by this Constitution or any law consistent with the Constitution, any question for decision of this House shall be determined by a majority of votes of members present and voting in a manner prescribed by rules of procedure made by Parliament under Article 94 of the Constitution. Rule 98(1)A of the Rules of Procedure guides on the type of voting that shall be used to vote on a motion for second and third reading of a bill amending the Constitution. Rule 98 provides as follows. 98(1), roll call and tally shall be held in the following circumstances. 98(1)A, at the second and third reading of the bill for an act of Parliament to amend the provision of the Constitution. Therefore, the voting method for dealing with this motion is clearly stipulated as roll call and tally. In order to effect the provisions of Rule 98 of the Rules of Procedure, which provide the following guidance, for purposes of voting, 3 tally desks shall be provided, one for the aye votes, another for the noes, the third one for the abstentions. The clerk will tally the votes of members and report to the Speaker. 3 clerks will be assigned to record and tally votes for the ayes, noes, and abstentions, respectively. To guarantee transparency and avoid disputes over the results, I invite the Government Chief Whip to designate an observer. I invite the Opposition Whip to designate an observer. I invite the Independent Coordinator to designate someone to observe the recording and tallying of results. The prescribed place for the recording and tallying of the votes will be the bar. That place there just in front of the main entrance, inside the entry and exit door of the Speaker. The Speaker will announce the commencement of voting, and the clerk will read out the names of members in alphabetical order. A member whose name has been read will stand and speak their vote. The Speaker will announce the end of voting after all members present have voted. Tallying of votes will be done and the results submitted to the Speaker, who will announce the results. That's the process we are going to follow. Start now, Tubisa, start.
Nsamba Patrick.
Honorable Nsamba.
We agree, eh? We agree.
Right Honourable Speaker, on behalf of the people of Kassanda North, I vote no.